Recently, I've been very lonely, and there's a lot of reasons why. Part of it is because I'm currently not dating, as in making an active effort not to date. The second reason is because a lot of my friends, I felt as though they've kind of drifted away from me, or at least just friendships that I've had, pretty close friendships I've had the last couple of years. And the last thing, or I guess maybe it's not so linear, but the last thing is that I haven't been working a full-time job the last almost year. I'm not working. I've just been doing Rover and stuff and a couple of other gigs here and there, but for the most part just Rover and my silly little chores every day. And because of that, I've had to spend a lot of time alone. A lot of time alone. And being an extrovert, that's been pretty hard. An extrovert, I love working with people, I love helping people, and not being able to work with people during the day has definitely made that a lot more difficult. I have to actually face my feelings. Who would have thought? So yeah, I've been grappling a lot with having no distractions and not being busy enough to avoid my feelings, for lack of a better interpretation. But kind of what I mainly wanted to talk about is, just actively not dating, and then also having those friendships that I used to have kind of drift away. A lot of my friends that I used to be pretty close with the last year or two, I either don't have anything in common with them anymore. I used to climb. I decided to stop doing that very recently, but even before that, I drifted away from them already. I feel sad. I think I've been grieving those friendships that I've lost a little bit. I guess I know that I haven't entirely lost them. I could just reach out again and we could hang out and it wouldn't be a problem. The thing is, I have reached out to a couple of those people, and it's clear to me that I'm not really a priority in their life right now, and that's okay. That, priorities change, people change, and I think I'm just grieving that I don't have the same friendship that I had with those people anymore. There's also several friends who are in relationships, and I'm so happy for them. They deserve love just as much as anyone. The way I say that makes it sound like they don't, but I swear I'm so happy for them. But because of that, it definitely has taken them away from our friendship that we had before. And I'm pretty sad about that. And not working too has also amplified all of this. Not working has really been the largest thing in all of this. If I had a job, I'd be chilling, I think. I mean, it wouldn't be perfect, but oh my gosh, I wouldn't have so much time to think about these things during the day. And it's definitely been a good thing. But yeah, and then making a conscious effort not to date is so hard for me because I'm fearful avoidant, I learned last year, but I always thought I was anxiously attached. And I definitely lean more on the anxious side if someone is avoidant. But if someone is anxious, then depending on whether I like them or not, I will be avoidant or secure. But anyways, so the main reason I am trying really hard not to date right now is because recently I had a couple of experiences that really opened my eyes, dating experiences. There was one guy who I dated briefly for several months at the start of 2022 when I first moved to Seattle, and he did not treat me well. He flaked on me. There was a small favor he just refused to do for me. And he reached out again middle of last month, and he was like, "Hey Anna, would you like to reconnect? I had a dream about you." And I was like, what the fuck? But I really liked him before, and I kind of thought, like, you know what, it can't hurt to just meet up and see how things go. He ended up being very pushy about my boundaries, which I set multiple times, and I ended up asking him to take me home. He also kind of, I kind of set him straight afterward. He reached out 3 weeks later, like literally just a couple of days ago, and he was like, "Hey, like, what are you doing this weekend or whatever?" And I was kind of just like, you know what? Your silence, your lack of interest have spoken volumes. I have no interest in someone who sees me as a quick pleasure fix and refuses to acknowledge my boundaries. Best of luck to you, basically, is what I said. Also, like, I was just really disappointed because, I don't know, I thought after 3 years maybe he had changed, but he hadn't. And if anything, it was actually worse than before. Or maybe it just felt worse because I've learned so much about myself since then, and I was able to set boundaries for myself that it just felt icky. But he had like a whole sob story about how, you know, it wasn't a lack of interest, he was just trying to give me some space, blah, 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 whatever. And that did not discount the fact that he just straight up disrespected the boundaries that I set. He ended up sending like a giant paragraph asking me to not delete his number from my phone again, and I was like, but anyways, that was just such a good teacher of reminding myself that I don't need to settle for people like that. I finally understand now, after several years of being in therapy and working on myself, the saying, "We accept the love we think we deserve." I think it makes so much sense now. You accept the kind of love that you think you deserve into your life. And that's what I was doing before. That's what all of us are doing ever. And I wasn't letting the right kind of guys into my life, and I didn't realize it. Not all of them were bad, but that doesn't mean they were right for me and that I was right for them. So yeah, and then there was another guy recently. He's a little bit younger than me, actually, which I usually don't go for, but we're in the same club, and we ended up going on like a first date-ish, just hanging out, and I ended up really liking him, but he ended up being just really, really busy in his life, and he kind of I kind of let him down gently, and then he kind of let me down gently first, and it was just a very mature and bittersweet interaction. I would be lying if I said I wasn't still healing from it, because it was only like a week ago or more. But yeah, I think the main lesson I'm taking out of all of this is just that I don't need external validation to feel good about myself and to feel worthy. I don't need other people's approval to determine my worth. And that's what I've been doing my whole life. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm tired of letting external validation from men determine my worth. That's not what this is about. So it's definitely, it's peaceful for sure. But peaceful can also equate to boring. And boring means that I'm trying to fill my time with other things, such as training my brain. I'm trying to learn how to juggle right now, which is so dorky, but I'm also trying to learn how to write with my non-dominant hand. And these are things that my therapist suggested, and I am so excited to start getting better. I've already done a couple days for each, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Just investing time in myself is something that I've never really had a real chance to do, and I got to do that the last year. I got to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I consider what happened a blessing in disguise. I won't go into detail about it, but yeah, at the time I was really angry and frustrated, but this was last March. I was able to take time to figure out what I really wanted to do with my life and what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, what I need to improve on, and just nurture my relationships with my friends and family. And I did date someone last year for a little bit, and he taught me a lot as well about myself in relationships and myself in general. And yeah, it was just a really good learning opportunity overall. And I am waiting on a job interview to get back to me right now. I am crossing every bodily appendage that I have that I get it. But yeah, I'm not sure yet about it. We'll have to see. That is a full-time job, and I'm just really looking forward to having a routine again, because I do kind of have a routine. I'm trying to wake up early still and not sleep in. Like, I can't even physically sleep in anymore because my body just rejects it. I have a headache the whole day. I've been going to bed around 11 to 11:45 and waking up at 7:45, and that seems to be keeping my body and my routine in a pretty good rhythm. I'll always get up and eat breakfast and then read my 3 books that I'm inching through one page at a time. And yeah, I'm just really trying to, all in all, focus on myself right now, because I've always been the kind of person who needed someone else's external validation to feel good about myself and feel worthy, but I don't need that. None of us need that external validation. The only approval we need is our own approval. We don't need anybody else's. And my mantra is kind of just like, as long as you're not hurting anyone, do whatever the fuck you want. It's your life. Life is so short, and we shouldn't waste it worrying so much about what other people think. Who gives a crap? That's something that I've really been trying to remember the last 3 years. Yeah, back to loneliness though. Loneliness is an epidemic right now. I've been feeling really lonely. It's real. And I've cried about it. I have way too much time to think about things. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. It's teaching me to be with myself and to put myself first. And while as an extrovert, it's been really hard for me to not be able to hang out with people all the time, especially because of my friendships drifting away, not being in a relationship right now, and actively choosing that too. Not that like I would reject it if something good did come my way, but they'd have to be like literally incredible. I'm tired of wasting my time on subpar guys who treat me less than I deserve. And I finally know that now. It's also just so crazy to think about how different my life is now than it was just 3 years ago when I first moved to Seattle. I am in a completely different stage of life right now. When I first moved here, I was 23. I was going out almost every single night, like not partying, but just sometimes I would go clubbing, but I don't drink because I physically can't drink. I'm allergic to alcohol, which I do kind of want to talk about in another video. But yeah, I would go out clubbing like every weekend with my clubbing group of friends, and then I would go climbing every Wednesday and Saturday with my climbing friends, and I had another friend group too. I was just going out constantly. I had so many friends. And over the last several years, I've really learned which of those people are my real friends, which of those people kind of, taught me lessons and the kind of friends and relationships that I want to have. Same with dating. I've done a lot of dating since I moved here too. That's also taught me a lot about myself and what I want in a partner for sure. But it's just so crazy to think how different my life is now. I'm not working. I'm not really going out as much. I have a couple of really good friends, and that's about it. And yeah, there are also, those friendships that I mentioned where we've really drifted apart, and I'm still having trouble kind of coming to terms with it and letting go of those people. And I do know that friendships kind of ebb and flow, and friendships have different seasons as well. But I do think there are some friendships out of the ones that I'm referring to that might be on their way out, not in a good or bad way, but just in a neutral way, that things change and that's okay. Change is the only constant we have. So yeah, just, I don't know where this is going. I just kind of wanted to talk about where I'm at right now and what I've been going through recently. Something else that comes to mind is that a lot of my friends, if not pretty much all of them, are more introverted than I am. They're pretty much all introverts, and that makes it hard for me too, because I love talking to people, I love chit-chatting. I go to Toastmasters every Thursday, and I literally get high off of the interactions I have there, like high on life, because I love it so much and I love talking to people and learning new things. But it's been really hard for me not, like sometimes my friends will cancel on me if they're not feeling good or like just feeling tired, emotionally tired, and I obviously more power to them, right? Like we all need to set boundaries. It's so important. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't make me feel sad, because that was something I was really looking forward to, especially when I can sense that there is space and there wasn't space before. I'll wonder if I did something wrong. That makes me really anxious. But yeah, I'm really just learning wholeheartedly how to be okay with myself right now. And I think that's something that not just me, but a lot of people struggle with. And while I also think it's good to take time to ourselves, of course, if we have busy lives, human connection is equally as important. And I actually refuse to download Hinge anymore, because I just don't think the kind of person that I want to be with would be on an app like that anymore. Maybe before, but I feel like the person I am becoming just, I don't know, just something just tells me that the person I want to be with is in the real world and not scrolling through people on their phone. But also the reason for that is because I've just really been trying to stay off of social media, and I hate how much I stare at my phone. I have a Finsta, but even that I look at too much and it frustrates me. So I'm trying to just live in the real world again. And that's another reason why I've been feeling so anxious and lonely, is because I try to fill up my time with just the things, my hobbies and chores and stuff, but at the end of the day, I spend a lot of time on my phone, and that's just been causing me a lot of anxiety, which I don't love. But anyways, I don't even know where I was going with that. This has just turned into a long talk about what I'm going through right now. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if you can maybe resonate with it in some way. If you can, feel free to drop a comment. I don't know if anyone watches these. But it's just something that I was inspired to do recently. Just kind of talk about what's been on my mind, and maybe has been on your mind too. So, all right. Talk to you later. Bye.